We just talked about a season ticket holder that got his season tickets revoked, and the annual season ticket holder renewal went out today, and the prices have gone up pretty steeply, man. This is coming from Dave Briquette. Says the Lions sent out season ticket renewal info today. All seats are seeing some increase, most in the 10 to 30% range. Season tickets are still at a discount to the secondary market, and there are 22,000 people on the waiting list for tickets. Good team, good in-stadium product. That is business. Then he continues down here. For next year, Lions tickets are expected to come in somewhere, check this, around league average in ticket price. So if you're looking at what he's saying there, not only are their season tickets going up 10 to 30%, the second year in a row there's been a price increase. There are 22,000 plus people on the waiting list. I am one of those people. And after just those increases, now we're going to come around to the league average of ticket prices. The worse your team, the cheaper it is. Last year, when the Carolina Panthers were as bad as they were, they showed like they had 5,000 people in their stadium. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Now, ironically, this comes out on the same day that Yusuf lost his season tickets. So him being out, and when people don't renew, that's how people like myself or waiting list people can get in. Now, last year, there was quite a bit of an uproar at the ticket price increase. We were just coming off, we were 2 years removed from a 3-13-1 season, coming off that 9-8 season. Hadn't yet been to the playoffs. I thought it was a little fast for that to happen, for the Detroit Lions to go up as much as they have been. Now, I've been to Ford Field a couple of times over the past 2 seasons. It is definitely the place to be. It is becoming a place of hostility for opposing teams. It is a place, like the Arrowhead or Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field. Ford Field is becoming that place, and we are paying the price for it. We, as in, like, I'm paying. Not yet. I did put the money down to get on the waiting list, so I guess soon to be myself. But I'm like, man, it's kind of crazy. 10 to 30%. Now, I have seen a gentleman in here, JD. As a matter of fact, let's look at what some of the people are saying in this comment section. My man, section 344, he's got it right there. It says, mine went up 70% this year. Dave Briquette says that's steep. Section 344, I assume based off the name. JD says, mine went up 67 in section 318 after going up 25% this season. It's over doubled in the 2 seasons I've had season tickets. That is insane. And then, I've actually had some people contact me with what their season tickets have increased. And it's not something light. It's gone up tremendously. I mean, even tickets and this is year after year. So a lot of season ticket holders, their season tickets have doubled in just 2 years. 2 years. And we're talking about upper bowl. Now, there's really not a bad seat in the house at Ford Field. I'm noticing these stadiums that you go to, it's really not a bad seat. You might not be able to see exactly what's happening, but you can see the entire field. Lucas Oil probably had one of the best seats in the house. Like, no matter where you were, man, it was a good look. Even Ford Field, there's not really a bad seat in the house. So, I mean, it's kind of ironic that I got on to season tickets. So for me, this is gonna be fresh. Like, I'm not gonna know any better. But yeah, so you're talking about, and I was considering, okay, Derek, well, what if you have enough? Could you consider sitting in the lower bowl? Could you consider being in one of the end zones, right? Could you consider being at the 50-yard line? At this point, I don't think so. I mean, I only got 2 tickets. If you're sitting in section 3 anything and your tickets are $3,500 to $4,000, I can only imagine that sitting in the lower bowl is probably going to cost you at least double that, maybe even triple. So let me know your thoughts, man. I mean, this is tough. It's tough because the Lions have, in 30 years, they've got 1 NFC North championship. They have 1 NFC title game, 2 NFC title game appearances, 1992, right? So in 20-something years, right? So have we done enough? Have the Lions done enough to jump up in price the way that they've been. Now, if you recall, look, a few years, like 4 years ago, they didn't raise ticket prices. Going from 2021 to 2022, they didn't raise ticket prices. When you become good, then you are going to pay the price. Now, here's my concern. One of the things about having Ford Field is what I've noticed is that, like, when I went to the Packers game, shout out to Brian, I go to the Packers game, and you couldn't really see any Green Bay Packers. I mean, I saw people walking around with the cheese heads and blah, blah, blah. But when the Packers were moving down the field or did something good, you didn't hear many cheers. It was a group of people, maybe about 30 people sitting to our right. It was some Green Bay Packer fans to our left, but mostly it was Detroit Lions fans, because those people didn't sell tickets. I mean, they would rather not profit off that game than to let a Green Bay Packer buy the ticket. And then you have something like the Indianapolis Colts that we own the stadium, right? So my fear is now with this ticket increase, first of all, I have to get in. This is going to be the stuff that allows people on the waiting list to get in the building, but that people will start to sell their tickets and let the opposing fan base in, right? So I think the Lions are, I'm going to say what I said last year. They're jumping the gun. I could see if we made it to a Super Bowl. I could see if we were NFC champions and if we won a Super Bowl, right? But we have, this is what the Lions have. We have one NFC North title. We are one game away from the best season we've ever had, and that's even with a 17-game season. I think to go up 10 to 30%, that's a lot. And I'm wondering, now they go up again, right? So let's say they go up next year. If the Lions have already had the best season they've ever had coming up, right? We're one win away from that. When the Lions increase next year, what are they going to do after that? Since they'll be league average, are they going to go up? Like the NFC title game at Ford Field is currently going for about $2,000. Last year, in Ford Field, it was about the same thing. At Levi, it was a third of that. It was $597 to get in the stadium for the NFC title game. It was at least 4 times that at Ford Field, right? The whole trip cost what one ticket would have to get into Ford Field for the NFC title game. So anyway, the biggest perk of having outside of like the perks that you get from the Lions and things like that is when the playoffs come around. When the playoffs come around, man, the tickets are tremendously reduced. You could get a ticket for maybe $500 that somebody on the aftermarket would pay $2,000 for. So it's crazy, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited about this season, but I'm not excited about potentially, paying for season tickets. But it's part of how it goes, I guess. I would hate to do like 2 or 3 years and then I can't afford year 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me know. Do you think the Lions have jumped the gun again? I do, because you gotta be good consistently. And I mean, 3 years ago, we're 3-13-1. So 3-13-1, 9-8, no playoff appearance. Last year, 12-5, make an NFC title game. This year, 12-1 with 4 games to go. Everybody got us going to the Super Bowl. I think it's tough. That's a jump, man. Like I said, you're talking about 70% for one person. That's insane. But let me know your thoughts, man. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.